Yo, hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing my Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel and know nothing about this video series, basically my Andrew Cutter Pick of the Weeks are where I take a look at this week in DC Comics. Then I select the comic that I enjoyed the most and declare my Andrew Cutter Pick of the Week. In addition to that, I will also do news and updates pertaining to my channel or anything else in general. It's kind of a blog session. Now, you must excuse me while I'm doing this video because outside they're actually tearing up my front walkway and putting in a new one. Whatever. So if you hear any background noise, I'm sorry. Chances are my voice is obnoxious and loud enough that I might actually be able to cover it up, but you never know. So, with that said, let's get into this week with DC Comics. This was actually a very short week. Although, to be fair, short week for me is a big week for some people. That's what the deal is. We had Batman and Robin issue number 8. Batgirl issue number 8. We had Batwoman issue number 8. Green Lantern issue number 8. Superboy issue number 8. Deathstroke issue number 8. I was right. Shade did come out. Shade issue number 7. Quick thing about this in a moment. I'll quickly talk about that. And then Demonites issue number 8. Boy, are they getting loud outside. Can you hear that? If you can hear that, wow. Sorry. But Shade issue number 8, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was a good issue. I thought the characters had good dialogue. I thought the characters were interesting, villains and heroes alike, and it had a great ending to it. So it should be interesting where the Shade goes from here. And I've been enjoying this series since. And the artwork, it fits the tone of the comics so well, even though I'm not a fan of the art. It kind of reminds me of the art from the Legend of the Dark Knight stuff, like Batman Gothic or along those lines. But on a whole, this was a pretty good 4.5. Now you must excuse me, I have a stuffy nose for some reason. I'm not sick, I just have a stuffy nose. Now, when it comes down to comics this week, there's two comics that stood out the most to me that could possibly be my Andrew Cutter picks of the weeks. And those would be Batman and Robin and Demonites issue number 8. Batman and Robin just tied up the story arc so nicely, set the tone for what the comic would be in the future, and had some great character moments. Demonites had a good story. The Demonites actually could sit down and socialize in a way, and that's good because that's what the comic needed, a downtime issue before the trouble started back up. And it had a nice chilling ending where the story gets told through Etrigan's perception. So, very good issue. Both 5-star issues. Really enjoyed them both. If I had to pick one, what would it be? It would be... It's tough because both of them are really good. I would have to go with Batman Robin issue number 8. This just wrapped up everything very nicely. It wrapped up stuff beautifully. I thought it was a very good issue. I really like the character stuff with Damian and Bruce. I really like the ending, and like I said, it set the tone for the comic onward. So it was a good issue. On a whole, this week was a pretty good week. With the exception of, I think, Superboy, it had some pretty good comics. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to pause the comic for the comic. Yes, I can pause comics. I'm going to pause the video for a moment. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. I had to go grab something. But yes, that was my Andrew Cutter picks of the weeks. On to news and or updates. On the job front, I've had an interesting week. I went to a headhunter 2 days ago. I was supposed to have a job interview on Monday, but the person didn't show up. And then I have 3 job interviews next week. One of which is going to be on my birthday. So hopefully I get a nice birthday surprise. You know, a job. So on one hand, it still sucks job searching. But on the other hand, it's getting a little better. We'll see. Like I say to you guys, and not to discourage people that are in college or going to college or ready to go in the workforce, but it really does suck. It really is bad, and you're just gonna have to grind and tear and work your way through it. It is not easy. It's what I'm going through right now. So hopefully at one point I can look back on this and laugh like I did with college, but you never know. Um, right after this video, I'm going to record my Marvel relaunch, reboot, what I am thinking. Just watch it. You'll understand. It'll make sense once you start watching it. Um, no video games really this week I picked up. I don't think so. No. Not since my last Andrew Cutter pick of the week. But I'm done with Microsoft. I'm so pissed off with Xbox and the shenanigans and tomfoolery that they pull that I will not be picking up Xbox again. The only Xbox games I'm going to pick up are Resident Evil 6 because it's Resident Evil and BioShock Infinite just because I've enjoyed BioShock. But really, I am done with Microsoft. I have been so livid with them and their product. Um, at least Nintendo and Sony want to make customers, not money. Microsoft only cares about making money. They screw you over in every 5 different ways, and I've been screwed over like 3 times this week by Microsoft. They're losing a customer. I'm just saying that right here and right now. They are losing a customer. It's not even like they had the best quality games. Their games, they had crappy exclusives. You know, at least PlayStation and the Wii have good exclusives to fall back on. Xbox doesn't. It's pissing me off. Every single game there, with the exception of I think Fable and the Konami classic games and maybe Wet, I could have got on the PS3. So I am done with Xbox because it's just pissing me off. But no real new video game stuff. A few movies. I picked up 2 movies particularly this week I would like to talk about. First of all, is I picked up The Captains by William Shatner. Uh, if you don't know anything about this film, and if you're a Star Trek fan or a Trekkie or anything along that lines, when it comes down to Star Trek, I consider myself a Star Trek fan. I know Star Trek. I watch Star Trek. I enjoy Star Trek. I don't dress up in Star Trek though. I'm not a full Trekkie, but I've watched pretty much a good. If you look at the span of Star Trek, I think I've watched maybe 75% of all Star Trek. I watched almost all of Next Gen. Actually, pretty much all of Next Gen. I watched all of Voyager. I want to say 60% of DS9. Didn't get too much of the original series and watch all the movies. So I watched a good chunk of Star Trek. And I love Star Trek. Oh, yeah, there was also Enterprise I watched a good chunk of too. Uh, Basically, what the Captains is William Shatner going around talking to each actor slash actress that played a captain in Star Trek and talking in depth about their time on Star Trek and their life in general. It's a very interesting DVD. Especially when he goes to talk to Patrick Stewart. I'm not just saying that because Patrick Stewart is one of my favorite actors and Captain Picard is my favorite captain. It's definitely the most interesting when he talks to him and to the actress that played Janeway Kate Mulgrew or something like that. Those probably are the 2 more interesting, which is funny because Picard's the best captain in my opinion, and Janeway's the worst. But for whatever reason, it's a good film. It's a fun documentary. I find it absolutely hilarious that in everything he does, William Shatner needs to talk about himself. So, Patrick Stewart, tell me a little bit about your life. Because, see, this is my life, and I will talk about when I was younger and how I grew up and went to college and did some fine arts and eventually got a hit role on Star Trek. He would go on and talk about his life, and then Patrick would be, "Whoa, Will, I went into Shakespearean acting at the age of 12," and then Patrick Stewart would go, William Shatner would go, "Oh, really? Because I did some Shakespearean acting too. See, it happened back when I was 9 years old." So it's just absolutely funny how every 5 seconds William Shatner needs to talk about himself, but it's William Shatner, and that's half the fun of him. This is definitely a rent, and if you're a Trekkie, pick it up because it's worth picking up, but it's definitely a rent. It is fun. It's entertaining. It is fun and entertaining. I also picked up last night. Ooh, we have a little battle wound there, don't we? I'm gonna have to fix that. there any way I could get that off? There we go. I also picked up because I am. It feels like my love for wrestling has been reinvigorated with the return of my favorite wrestler. It's when he's around, it's better. Uh, but I picked up The Rock, the Dwayne Johnson. Epic Journey of Dwayne The Rock Johnson 3-set DVD. I don't know if there's actually a title for this. I think it's just Rock, The Epic Journey of Dwayne Johnson. So I picked this up. There's been a few Rock movies. If you don't know, Rock is my favorite wrestler of all time. I love him to death. I love him to death. And there's been, I think, 4 Rock movies. There's been Rock, The Rock Says, which was an old one back in 1999. Then The Rock Just Bring It, which I have over there, which came out in like 2002. Then we had this one right here, The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, which came out in what 2008. Let me double check. Yeah, 2008. And then we have this one 4 years later. So let's talk about this. I'm going to do a comparison to this Rock DVD when talking about the two. Um, this has this I believe these two complement each other very well because this has the better documentary aspect to it. This has the better matches to it. The documentary in this was actually really good. Is one of the better of the WWE documentaries that they've done. Sometimes the documentaries can turn out to be very good, like a Bret Hart one or a Shawn Michaels one or a Stone Cold one, but sometimes it can come off as very boring too. Um, I'm not gonna, off the top of my head, I don't know any off the top of my head, but they can come off as very boring. I think the Triple H 2002 one was kind of meh. But yeah, so it really is kind of hit and miss. I feel as though this was actually probably the best of the Rock documentaries from the documentary aspect so far. Sorry, I just jumped because they just knocked out a big piece of sidewalk. But yeah, probably the best for the documentary aspect. The match list. The funny thing is this had a fantastic match list. I will read some off to you. But what was missing from this match list shows up in here. For example, my favorite, one of my favorite Rock matches did not show up in the Most Electrifying Man one. It showed up in this. So no matches cross over. There's no duplicating of matches, at least as far as I know. So I'll give you just a sneak peek on what's in the Most Electrifying Man, and then what's in the new one. So for this one, we had ready. I'm going to go through them really quickly. So hang on. Uh, Rock versus Owen Hart, Rock versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Rock versus Triple H, King of the Ring. Rock versus Mankind for the WWE title first time. Rock versus Mankind last man standing match. Ladder match. Rock versus Mankind. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Rock WrestleMania 15. Rock versus Triple H. Rock versus Mankind. No, Rock and Mankind versus Undertaker and Big Show. Rock versus Kane. Rock versus Triple H for Backlash for the WWE title. Rock versus Shane McMahon. Uh, Kurt Angle versus Rock, No Way Out for the WWE title. Booker T versus Rock. Chris Jericho versus Rock at the Royal Rumble. Rock versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Kurt Angle versus Undertaker versus Rock. Rock versus Eddie Guerrero. And Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that is the match list there. A good plethora of matches and some of the best Rock matches. But as you notice, there were some missing, like the I Quit match with Mankind was missing. So in this, they kind of make up for it with the match list, and maybe there's more, but they have this. Ready? Ready? Ready. Rock versus Triple H, which actually is the only match I think that crosses over. Rock's first match at Survivor Series. Ladder match, Rock versus Triple H for the IC title. Rock versus Mankind versus Canton Shamrock triple threat match. I Quit match for the WWE Championship, Rock versus Mankind. Good. No Hold Barred match, Rock versus Stone Cold Backlash, Rock versus Kurt Angle versus Triple H triple threat match. That's the one where Kurt Angle gets really screwed up off that messed up pedigree. Um, Tag team match, Rock and Undertaker versus Edge and Christian. Rock versus Nature Boy Ric Flair. Undisputed Championship, Rock versus Brock Lesnar. Rock versus Hogan 2, No Way Out. Rock, let's see. Yes. So that is the list of matches on this. So the two complement each other. If you are a Rock fan, or if you're looking to get into Rock because of his return, see, I've been a Rock fan since the very beginning. This is what I recommend it to you guys. Pick up this DVD and watch the documentary. After you watch the documentary, pick up this DVD and watch all the matches. Then go over and watch all the matches on this DVD. So it kind of all plays out. A lot of you guys aren't even wrestling fans. You're kind of going. But for those of you that are, buying these two together, complement each other very nicely, at least when it comes down to the matches. And I think they are a good, complete collection for The Rock. So, yes, those are the DVDs that I've been picking up. Nothing else really going on. Me and my fiance, the Gossip Guru, have been doing more relationship stuff on her channel, which you can check down there. If you want to check it out, we give some relationship tips as well as answer relationship questions. So check that out. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here. There's not much more to talk about. So this is Andrew saying peace out for now.